He's Justice for All. I am Gene Mitchell. You can see I'm joined by two friends. Barry is out tonight. You've met my friend Larry Downs over there on the other side, but who you haven't met is my dear friend Nicole DeBono, author Nicole DeBono. Miss DeBono has written a book, The Becoming Blueprint, and we're going to ask her some questions, and we're going to learn what this book's about and how to get it. First, we're going to talk about some recent things. The fact that Larry's here means that we had another edition of Island Fights. How did they go? You brought us a couple months ago, I guess. Time flies. How was it this past weekend?
Pardon me.
Yes, sir.
I need to plead the fifth here.
What are you talking about?
I'm messing with you. Fauci fifth.
Oh, man.
That's later.
For the many people in Pensacola that know Mr. Downs, they know a few things. They know he's a tough guy. They know he's wonderful, honest as the day is long, wonderful plumber, and they know he has strong feelings about vaccines. And we're going to give you a microphone towards the end of the show so you can talk about vaccines. But I'm interested right now. This is what we call the Barry Barossett small talk.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about the fights. Tell me about Island Fights this past time, and when's the next one?
The fights were awesome. We had 14 fights Saturday night, and probably 10 of them were like what we'd call barn burners. They really got after it. They were evenly matched, and we had probably 3 knockouts, but they were excellent competitive fights, and the crowd was amazing. I'm talking about they were into it so much that I couldn't hear the bell ring a few times.
Now, I went last time primarily to watch you referee. Did you referee the other night?
Yes, I refereed 8 of the fights.
Why not all of the fights, Larry?
Because I'm getting too old.
Oh, is that the reason? Okay.
It's hey, about I refereed the main event too, and by the time I got about half of them done, I told one of you know how we got the VIP tables there.
Yes.
So the owner of Seville Quarters was there.
Okay.
And he said, hey, are you going to ref all these? I said, no, I said, I can already feel my hip, my knee, my back.
Well, I'll say, and on the one hand, I get to brag about, just like everyone in Pensacola gets to brag about knowing Roy Jones, so I guess I'm a Roy Jones fan. I certainly am. But otherwise, I don't know the first thing about fighting. But when I went and watched that night, largely because I knew my friend Larry Downs was the referee, that made it entertaining. But I appreciated the discipline that all these fighters obviously had. I mean, I think there's one guy from Scotland that had come all the way.
Yeah.
This is a good show that Pensacola has. When's the next time we're going to have Island Fights?
I think one came on that show you were at. I think one came from Hawaii also.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But
when's the next edition?
The next one's going to be in October, and it's going to be Island Fights 100.
Okay. I'll
get the exact date in the next week or two.
And will you be refereeing then?
I'll be refereeing there.
Somehow that makes it easier for me to understand. I want to do something. A lot of people in Pensacola know Randall Aronson. Would you have ever come across Randall Aronson?
I don't know.
When I was in the public defender's office back in the 90s, Randall Aronson was the lawyer for the legal aid, the local Northwest Florida Legal Services. So I would have clients that Randy would also have. Someone charged with a crime, someone getting evicted, it'd be the same person. So Randy and I were good friends. Randy was this tiny little guy, 5'4", 5'3", 5'2", something like that. And he would call himself a little Jew lawyer, and he'd say he had little Jew hair, and he kind of did a bit. He kind of did a Woody Allen bit.
Yeah.
He was wonderful. He graduated with honors from Duke, from the University of Florida Law School. Just a brilliant guy, right?
Yeah.
And he would get in fights with judges over evictions, and he was always a little bit nutty, but most of us are, in this groove. And then his nuttiness started to grow. And he's the first time that I came to understand, and Nicole, and I'm going to ask you to talk about this in a minute, mental illness. He's the first time I came to understand that mental illness is real. And about every 4 or 5 years, my friend Randy would find himself getting arrested and getting beaten up and tased by some, to use his words, big fat redneck cop. Okay? Because here when he'd have bipolar manic depressive disorder, and he's the smartest guy in the room. And that lends itself to wind up confrontational situations. Anyway, he's suffering right now. He's sitting in West Florida Hospital room number 522. So if you're friends with Randy, Go to room 522 and cheer him up. And Randy, if you're watching, I'm gonna read one time when I sold him down the river. We were able to get a case dismissed on the condition that he'd write a letter of apology to the cop. So he wrote a letter of apology, Larry, to the cop that beat him up. All right, and to honor my friend Randy, here it is. I guess should I say the deputy's name on?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Larry said, okay, dear Deputy Christopher Wellborn, shout out. This correspondence serves as my letter of apology. Larry, Nicole, on Saturday, August 29, 2009, I cursed at you using what many would consider to be profane language. It appears to upset you and angered you. For that, I am sorry. Now, please allow me to introduce myself, he writes. In April of 2009, you pulled me over on Via de Luna and accused me of running a red light at Fort Pickens Road. At the time, my girlfriend and I were heading to Sidelines for dinner. When I challenged your mistaken observation, you retorted, if you're going to argue with me, then I'm just going to write you up. I inquired as to whether you're going to write me up for arguing with you or for allegedly running a red light. This angered you. When you gave me a citation for running a red light, I told you that I would see you in court, and you replied, well, I get paid to go to court. Later, you didn't show up for court, but you didn't tell the clerk, you didn't tell the court, you just made us all show up and you weren't there. When I confronted you with this later on, the next time I saw you, you told me that you were probably off playing golf. Just in case you still don't recall who I am. I am the 5'8", 150-pound, curly-haired guy with glasses that you attacked in the parking lot in front of Patty O'Leary's in the early morning hours of August 29, 2009. I was the one wearing the blue t-shirt, gray shorts, and loafers. You were hanging out with deputies Hammock and Helberg at the time. When I uttered to you the above-referenced expletive, you charged me, grabbed me from behind, threw me face down onto the pavement. Now, I imagine that you remember me, the guy with the very bloody nose, mouth, and face. It's unfortunate that some of my blood happened upon your clean white shirt. I would apologize for that too, except it was beyond my ability to control given the profuse bleeding and all semi-consciousness from your having slammed my face into the parking lot. I do want to thank you, however, for admitting at a deposition that you didn't in reality see me spit my blood onto your pretty white uniform, and that the apparent spatter may have indeed just been incidental to your having forced my face into the parking lot. Your belated concession on this point compelled the Assistant State Attorney saddled with my case to dismiss this silly but serious charge of felonious battery on a law enforcement officer described in your inaccurate and wrongful arrest report. Regardless, thank you for the ride to the emergency room. Thank you for the ride to the emergency room and for switching my handcuffs from the back to the front when the nurse finally implored you to do so, so that she could take an MRI on account of the conspicuous contusion on the bridge of my nose from your having earlier smashed my face into the pavement of the parking lot. You should have seen the expression on my face at Baptist Hospital when they billed me $4,000 for the MRI alone. Again, please accept my apology.
That is
Please
awesome.
accept my apology for the many harsh words and vulgarities that I directed toward you during our visit to the hospital emergency room. After all, this is a letter of apology. It remains my hope that by now, perhaps through whatever remedial education and training the Escambia County Sheriff's Office has to offer you, you'll have learned that in Escambia County it's not illegal for one to walk out of a bar with a drink, whether or not the drink contains alcohol. What was ironic, if not dumbfounding in our case, was that if my cup had in fact contained any alcoholic beverage that morning, and if I had proceeded to mindlessly obey your rude and obnoxious demands from over 60 feet away, that I leave the sidewalk and come to you in the parking lot, my status would have gone from an innocent bystander to that of a violator of applicable county ordinances. Should we be so happy to again cross paths, be it on the beach, at Sidelines, at Patty O'Leary's, or even in court, I can assure you that I intend to conduct myself with the utmost civility and only request that you, in return, not beat me up. Best wishes, protect and serve, apologetically, Randall Joseph Aronson. And if I read that too quickly because I was getting excited,
I love it.
I beg your pardon. But anyway, Randy, if you're watching, we love you, and we hope you get better.
That's awesome.
Isn't it?
I need to go by and see him.
You do. Room 522, pop in and...
That is my type of man right there.
Yeah. All right. Let's bug Miss DeBono for a second. Author Nicole DeBono. Now, you guys, the reason I know Miss DeBono is, as you know, I wind up with indigent people who have been arrested. And indigent people who've been arrested that are facing state prison, they'll have more than 44 points on their score sheet. And as y'all know, certainly Mr. Bono knows, that means that you must go to prison absent exceptional circumstances. And I've seen time and time again, Mr. Bono has helped my clients. Instead of go off to prison, she's found good programs for them. She's helped them write resumes to get good jobs. And now she's written this book. Mr. Bono, who is this book for?
Well, The Becoming Blueprint, it is really a guided journal that helps you, in the transformational process, reaching your highest self. This book is for everyone. It really, anyone and everybody could definitely benefit from it.
All right, when you first said that to me, this was right after you had helped, one of our close friends. You told me, well, Gene, I've written a book and I published it, and our friend could benefit from this book. And I asked you the same question, and you said, actually, Gene, anyone could. I said, all right, well, I suffer from eating too much and I drink too much Dr. Pepper. And you said, Gene, you could follow stuff in this book, right?
Yes.
All right. I spent some time, not enough, with this thing over the weekend. Generally, walk us through what one encounters when they purchase this book.
Okay. Well, when you purchase this book,
The Becoming Blueprint.
Yes, The Becoming Blueprint.
What inspired this?
What inspired this is, geez, I've had to reinvent myself time after time after time. Went in so many different directions, made all the mistakes, and then finally I got it together and I developed this blueprint, so everybody can have access to it. I realized that my story is not just my story, it's so many other stories too. So when you get this book, it's going to take you through a bunch of stages. First, it's the awareness stage, becoming aware of some of the underlying things that we go through. We go right into the unconscious, the subconscious mind. That's working before you can even think a thought. That's what's making decisions for you. My
view from looking through it, and forgive me for interrupting you, is it seems more like a workbook.
Yes.
You interact. The reader interacts with this book. You need to pull out a pen and mark stuff up and.
Yes. Yes, it has prompts, and you read, and then you answer the prompts, and it's a lot of self-discovery. It takes a lot of honesty too, a lot of vulnerability. But once you can identify a lot of the things that create patterns in your life, then you're able to break them. So this book helps you to break all those patterns and really, not become somebody else, but become the best version of yourself.
All right. Now, you know how I admire you and how you've helped so many people that I care about. But what caused me to reach out and ask if you might come on the Barasset Talk Show tonight is I was talking to my friend Captain Hankins over at the jail. And he said, your friend Mr. Bono, we've got her book in the jail.
Yes.
So the inmates have this book.
Yes.
Tell me, how did that work out?
It's been so beautiful. I wanted to go into a place where people need help the most, right? What better utilization of time for these, the women is who I'm dealing with. So I go in there and I have a class every week. Last week in particular was so amazing. What we're learning to do is we're learning to use the breath work, somatic exercises. So the breath is a tool that these people can take, and you and I and everybody. It's a tool that is always with you. And when you learn that your breath is actually a medicine, it can help you calm yourself.
Well, forgive me. So if Larry got arrested for cursing at a county commissioner meeting or something, he went in jail. Would he get issued one? Does everyone in the jail get a copy of this book?
No, they have to sign up for the class.
And you teach a course? You go into the jail?
Yes. Yeah. So I'll go into the jail and we do the workbook together. And then
how many nights a month or a week?
Right now, well, it was twice a week, but we went down to one because. I'm kind of pulled in a lot of directions right now. So
I understand. Yeah. I've seen it. Yes.
But lots of inmates signing up for the class. So many that I actually can't keep up with all the classes.
Now, you said you've had to go through your own recreation a couple of times. But in addition to yourself, have you seen this book get put to practice and seen folks benefit from it?
Oh,
It
yeah.
certainly looks good.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It is available on Amazon, so there's a lot of people that are writing reviews, and you know, I'm on Facebook a lot too, so I have a lot of followers on Facebook that are literally taking pictures of the inside of it, what they filled out, sharing their stories with me, telling me how it's helped them through all different kinds of walks of life. People that are going through maybe a divorce. I have a guy that had a job change and it was devastating to him, but yeah, all walks of life.
Okay. And what does it go for on Amazon?
I believe it is $39.
I see. I see. Can you give us an example of a person that followed this book nicely and got from one point to another?
Yes, I can. Somebody that I'm their mentor, they're my mentee.
Okay.
She suffered a really great loss, the loss of her mother. And so, you know, along with me meeting, I do coaching too. But this book has helped her greatly. She took about, I think she took 3 months. So this book will take between 3 months and 1 year to get through. You don't want to rush the process. You know, you want to take your time, and you know, even 1 page a night is going to benefit you. But she's successful now. Didn't follow the footsteps of, you know, the generational stuff that was going on in her upbringing. She's got a really great job, and she refers back to this regularly, calls me, so super proud of her.
Well, you know, like I said, I could very quickly name 15 or 20 people that I've seen you work with. I've called you up, I've said, Mr. Bono, I've got someone here in my office and here's their circumstance. And you've said, Gene, I'm going to create a little separation between you and your client. Give me their telephone number. And you've called them up. Are you still working with individuals now to try to help them, you know, get their life moving on?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do.
Where did you develop that? I think of a friend of mine that wouldn't even understand how to put together a resume, and you helped him make a resume and helped him get a job. Where did you develop that talent?
Oh, well, I guess just, I don't know, you can call it intuition, or you can call it just something I've picked up from having to reinvent myself. I know what it's like to have to start over from ground zero. And so I've got a lot of resources in the community, and I think we're going to break.
Oh, Addie's telling us we got to go. I'm sorry, I was looking at Mr. Bono and I wasn't looking at you, Addie. Yes, we're going to break. We'll be right back with more Justice for All.
Hi, I'm Kathy Holsworth, Artistic Director at Pensacola Little Theater in the Clark Family Cultural Center. Join me the first Monday of every month at 7 p.m. for the Center Stage, where I get to talk to my friends and your neighbors about all things on PLT stages.
All right, we're back with more Justice for All. Author Nicole DeBono, the author of The Becoming Blueprint, was just talking with us about a course that she teaches in the jail, which caused me to interrupt. This is a text message that I got from a friend of mine whose son is in jail. Got it yesterday at 5 p.m. She wrote, hey Gene, do you know how I can get help for Christopher? This is her son who's in jail. The jail and the maintenance are arguing back and forth about who's going to fix the showers. The men on his floor have not had a shower in a week. Have you seen any of this? I mean, do you go on the floors, or where do you go when you go into the jail?
I go into their dorms.
The dorms?
Yeah.
Okay, my experience is the dorms have been quite hot recently. Can you?
I'm in the new jail, so I'm not sure which jail we're talking about.
But okay, no, in all, forgive me, I'm horsing around. But the last time I was in the dorm, in the new jail, it seemed hot as can be. No? All right, very good. She writes, the men haven't had a shower in a week. They don't have toilet paper every day. The water tastes terrible, and the men in the jail are having stomach issues. They write grievances, but they don't receive any answers. All right, I took this message, I screenshotted it, I sent it to County Attorney Allison Rogers, I sent it to Commander Nash, my man at the jail, and I sent it to Chief Powell. And did that, last night around 5 p.m. And today at 3 p.m., the same mother texted me, says, Gene, Christopher has called me. The guards took the men to other pods to get showers. They started this at 7:30 this morning. They all send their thanks. Thank you for your help. The point is that if you have someone you care about that's sitting in the jail and the conditions, I mean, no one's going to think that conditions in the jail are going to be like a Ritz-Carlton or anything, but if you have someone you care about that's in the jail and you feel like the conditions are unacceptable, well, do something about it. You know, reach out to your loved one's attorney, reach out to the county commissioner, the Board of County Commissioners, reach out to Commander Nash at the jail, reach out to Chief William Powell, and do something. Because here, this mom, you know, she reached out to me just because we went to school together, and I send this message, and here within 24 hours, we get a little bit of relief. So attention like fecal matters. Yes.
Yes.
In the times that, you know, when I go to the jail, and I go almost every day, and I wind up complaining about this or that, and they're tired of it. The folks at the jail are tired. The Board of County Commissioners certainly. You see me crying about the jail and Board of County Commissioners.
Yeah, made me want to go up there.
Yeah, very good, very good. But when someone like yourself, or say Dr. Ruiz, or someone who's not in my normal world, goes into the jail, and they come out and complain, suddenly that gets some attention. I'm not trying to burn your friendship with Captain Hankins or anybody else, but have you seen anything in your time going to the jail that disturbs you? And if the answer is no, Nicole, that's just fine.
Yeah, no, my honest answer right now is no. The dorms I did go to, I'm only in 2 dorms right now. One is an honors dorm, and honestly, they had new huge TVs. They all had headphones that, you know, listened to the TV. There was a vending machine.
Well, now Larry's definitely going to want to go.
There was a vending machine in there, so they could get cold, like, drinks, sodas and waters. I've never seen nothing like that in a jail,
All right,
so
okay,
sorry.
Right. Well, kudos to Commander Nash and Chief Powell and Captain Hankins. You know, here's a headline. Did you see this headline the other day? You know Chip Simmons, Sheriff Chip Simmons?
Yeah, I campaigned for him.
Okay.
Twice. Yeah.
He's a friend of mine. And if he wasn't a friend of mine, maybe I wouldn't feel comfortable doing this, okay?
Yep.
We have this, the purpose of this show is to promote conversation. You know, when I was in the public defender's office 100 years ago, one of our chief attorneys was quoted in the newspaper. And he didn't do anything wrong, but he had gotten a verdict. And the newspaper saw him and they said, "Hey, Jay, what are your thoughts?" And his response was, "We're pleased." That's it. That quote from my friend was in the News Journal.
Yes.
The defense attorney, Jay, said, "We're pleased."
We're pleased.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Our boss, the elected public defender at the time, for proper reasons perhaps, took us all in the courthouse law library, in the public defender's office law library. And he said, "I'm making an example out of one of my favorite lawyers, Jay." And he says, "Jay, I'm fining you." And he fined him a few $100.
Yeah.
The point he was making is, we're going to do our work in the courtroom. We're not going to do it in the newspaper.
Right.
Okay, because things can get, you know, misquoted and what have you.
Sure.
Right. So I thought about that when I saw this headline a couple days ago, where there's my friend, Sheriff Chip Simmons. And the headline is, "Simmons, I don't understand why the state attorney's office dismissed such and such case." You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I immediately go to thinking of 10 different times in the past month where my friends who are prosecutors will be saying things like, you know, "We're disappointed that law enforcement arrested someone," or "We're disappointed that law enforcement didn't," you know? And I can certainly think of times where my friends that are criminal defense lawyers have voiced those sort of concerns. But all of this does is it impacts you know, potential jurors.
Sure.
You know, here, well, law enforcement thinks that this person, you know.
Yeah.
And
what do they know that we don't?
And such a big, bold headline. All of these guys are elected officials. You know, just as Chip Simmons is an elected official, Ginger Bowden Madden is an elected prosecutor. You know, so are we supposed to expect that if she disagrees with Chip Simmons, she should have the big headline, you know, the sheriff's department is a bunch of idiots? No, you know, we
Sheriff's
should.
wrong. Or whatever.
And anyone that's watched this program, Nicole, has seen plenty of times where Barry Barasset, who's been doing this show for 30 years, will sit there and say, Gene, I'm not going to talk about this because it's pending right now.
Okay.
You know. So anyway, Chip, my man, the chair is yours. If you want to come on sometime, you know, you have been a friend of mine for a long time, and I say this more to goad you to come on the program and talk with us about that. Now, just as I chastise my friend Chip Simmons, I want to give Larry the microphone. You're fresh from an ECUA meeting tonight.
Yes.
All right. The show is called Justice for All.
Yep.
All right. What happened at your ECUA meeting tonight, and did you feel like you, Larry, didn't get justice?
Yes.
Why?
That's exactly right. And ordinarily, you know, that board, they're elected board, but you know, and they're a utility, so they're providing water, sewer, and garbage. That's what they provide, and they're elected board, and they're our government. So, anyways, I go up there and speak at the public forum. Everything's fine. I speak on the corporate chemical vaccine injections because that's
we'll get to
that's
it.
part of it. But then they had a backflow program that they are doing, that they're forcing people who have irrigation wells to install backflow preventers on their side of the meter. And I wanted to speak on it because the way they're doing it, I believe, I disagree with. You know, so they're trying to set the prices.
Forgive me, is there like a public forum where whenever they're going to do something important, the public gets to come in and weigh in?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
just like the county commission meeting.
Yes.
So they have a public forum, and then you can speak on each agenda item.
Well, I'm so glad. So then you got to talk at the public forum then, right?
I got to talk at the public forum, but on the agenda item with the backflow preventers, I turned in my form, which you do on each one that you want to speak on. So they're going for like 30 minutes on this item, agenda item, to vote. And I'm sitting there waiting patiently. They have their representative, you know, their staff presenting. So I'm waiting. After staff presents, normally it opens up to the public. So anyways, they don't open it up to the public. Lois Benson makes a motion, and then Vicky seconds the motion, and then they're about to call for a vote, and I tell Kevin Stevens, I say, Kevin, I signed up to speak on this. He's like, what? Like, wait a minute. So I'm, you know, okay, well, wait a minute. And they go into the vote.
So they voted without you getting your chance.
They voted without me being able to speak, and then we have a law here in Florida that says any commission, an elected board, if they have an agenda item that's actionable, then the public gets an opportunity to speak. So, and I'm not saying that they did it intentionally, but
an overlook.
They did it either, maybe they don't know the rule.
Did they vote in the fashion that you would have hoped, or no?
Well,
is there something you talk about?
They more voted for a continuance to bring more stuff.
I see.
So it wasn't a final vote, but it was a vote for action.
Most of the time that I see you talking about something that's important to you, it's along the lines of you're a constitutional guy. That's why I really want you to come on the program, because you seem to think more about the Constitution than most of us. Yeah, you reach in your back pocket.
Always
got a copy. You always do. Yeah.
This is my favorite one so far.
But I think that most of the time when I think about you on a microphone at a public meeting, it's expressing concerns along the lines of the government is getting into my business, and you know, I've got to apply for more permits that are necessary. Is that kind of analogous to what this thing was going on at the ECUA tonight?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
And it's also, and it's not necessarily my rights. I go in and advocate for my neighbor's rights more than my own.
Well, what was the problem tonight?
They have they've never enforced this and never dealt with it before. But if you have an irrigation well on your property for years, I'm talking about for a dozen years, all they had to do, if they found out through a permit or whatever, they find out you have a well, they would just call up a plumbing company. We would go over. We would basically do an affidavit we'd find out, make sure the well wasn't connected to the potable water system.
Okay.
Then we'd fill out the affidavit, send it to ECUA, and they were good. There's no cross connection because it's not tied in.
Okay.
Well, now they're saying, well, anybody who has a well, they need a backflow preventer because the DEP, the FDEP, is saying, well, there's a small chance.
And you think that's unnecessary?
It's unnecessary. And even today, they were talking about, well, the problem is they could tie a hose to the spigot on the house, and then tie it to the well basically to prime the well. So that could be a cross connection.
Okay.
Which
Right.
it could be.
I get it. So this is more kind of de facto regulation, and it's unnecessary. Is that where you're coming
It's unnecessary because of the minute chance.
Okay.
The minute chance of that ever causing a problem is probably about the same as as a spaceship landing on the moon.
Oh boy, now we're having fun. Okay.
It's just,
right,
it's very slim,
well-
and they might lose the technology to do that. You never know.
All right. Well, look, one thing I have not said today is that the show is, and I'm not trying to interrupt you, Larry.
Sure.
One thing I haven't said is that the show is better when people call in, and I don't know. Okay, it's there. So 850-432-7768. We got one text message, and I always say that if you text in, I will read it. Here it is. It says, if I'm arrested, does my one phone call need to be a lawyer, or is getting a lawyer a separate situation and I can use my call for something else? Man, I think,
That's a good question.
I'll answer it bluntly with one phone call means one phone call, but that's something I hear more on television than I do, I don't know for sure. I'd have to ask Hankins or Nash or Powell, if you really do automatically get one phone call that you don't have to pay for. But
I imagine it depends on what kind of attitude you have when you get there too.
I'm sure that weighs in a whole lot.
Like
but,
what was your attorney buddy's?
Randall. Randall didn't get any phone call.
Randall. He might have went in there with the wrong attitude.
Wellborn is not giving Randy anything except another bloody nose. No, but what comes to mind when I read this question is, sure, if you're in jail, get a phone call out to someone to start the wheels of, trying to post bond, trying to get an attorney, trying to get folks to cover for work and stuff. But so close to 100% of the people that are in jail wind up saying something on the daggum, Addie, we got another break. I'm almost done. Most people that are in jail get on the telephones and say something that hurts them. If someone you care about is in jail and they get on the telephones, tell them to be quick. It's not time to socialize. It's not time to catch up. It's time to just know that, there's an office right now. I was in an office just earlier, and there's a person employed to sit there and do nothing but listen to jail phone calls. All right.
Can't they get IEI to do that now?
Yeah, very good. All right, we'll be right back. We're going to take our second break. We'll be back with Nicole DeBono and Larry Downs on Justice for All.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Bramer.
And I'm Charlie Hobart.
You can tune in Fridays at 5:30 on Blab TV for Wahoos Weekly, your weekly in-depth look at the Pensacola Blue Wahoos on the field and off.
We'll be talking to players and highlighting initiatives in the community that make Pensacola so special.
And when the Blue Wahoos are here at home, it leads right into live game coverage from Blue Wahoo Stadium. That's Wahoos Weekly, Fridays at 5:30
on Blab TV.
All right, we are back. Justice for All. Again, the show is better when you call in. If you have any questions for author Nicole DeBono, who's written The Becoming Blueprint, which, as I see it, in the time I spent with it this past weekend, I see it sort of a coach, a life coach, right there in your hands. It's something that most of the inmates that are interested get a copy of when they're in the jail. And it's written by a person who cares about helping people and helping people get from one spot to the other. On the other hand, most of you guys know my friend Larry Downs. He's fresh from an ECUA meeting, and Island Fights, if you have any questions for him. And of course, if you have any criminal-related questions or law-related questions, please call the program. The number again is 850-432-7768. And if you'd rather not hear your voice on television, you'd like to text us, we will answer your text messages. What do we got? I want to give you an opportunity to talk about this, Larry, because it's important to me also. Did you know this guy, Dr. Fauci?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm laughing because the joke about Larry is he's really, really strong anti-vaccine, and he's very opinionated about it, and he will go on and on and on talking about it, and he means it. But here's what I say, and I want your response. You know, before we had the coronavirus time, I was watching a documentary, and the gist of the documentary was that in our future, we were going to have mRNA vaccines. And another word I'd hear on this documentary was CRISPR. And one of the people featured on this documentary was Dr. Anthony Fauci. And what I learned from watching this documentary back in 2020 was that no other infectious disease-related doctor was as cited as much as Dr. Fauci. He was the authority in our country on infectious disease. And the gist of the documentary was that in our future, using mRNA, we are going to have relief from all diseases.
All of them.
Sounds great, doesn't it? Sarcasm is better than irony.
Sounds so great. Oh. They're going to fix all of our...
this is the setup.
All of our chronic disease is going to go away.
Okay.
That came from...
All right, I was maybe not being sarcastic.
Maybe
you're making fun of me is what's going on. All right, so anyway, I'm the straight guy here. All right.
Yep.
So, you know, I remember seeing this, and then along comes the coronavirus time, and words like pandemic were used.
Well,
and I'm almost done.
Okay.
Okay, I promise. Okay. I'm going to shut up in like
I'm ready to run.
10 seconds. Okay. All right, and so words like pandemic get used. The whole stock market got stopped that day, if you recall that, frozen.
The day the world stopped.
It did. And so, you know, everybody was on ventilators and everybody was getting sick and people isolated at home and didn't go to work. And then we get this person put on the television. He was played by Brad Pitt on Saturday Night Live as a tribute, and this was Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Yep.
And here was Dr. Anthony Fauci talking with us about mRNA, and I can remember saying to myself,
and
hey,
masks,
yeah, all right. And I can remember saying to myself, hey, this is the guy, the HIV doctor, that was talking to us on that documentary a couple years ago that was saying that, you know, all of these diseases had a sunset with these mRNA vaccines. And then here they come. All right, now the headlines in the Wall Street Journal and the other articles and the other newspaper periodicals and other pieces of media are that Moderna, the company, has tripled in price over the past week because of asserted success with mRNA vaccines. First thing.
Asserted.
Almost done. Okay,
asserted.
Asserted. Okay, I hear you. All right. In lockstep with these articles, you might be aware, Larry, Mr. Bono, that one of Dr. Fauci's assistants, another medical doctor, recently pled guilty in federal court for conspiracy to conceal, okay, because he was saying we're going to do what we're doing using my own.
We can't let anybody see our messages.
All right. And in lockstep with that, Dr. Fauci asserted his Fifth Amendment privilege over 100 times. Now, that's a whole lot of stuff to talk about, and I've got a whole lot of comments on all of that. And what are your thoughts?
I got very little time. I'm going right into it. All right.
Oh, God.
First of all, he was so cited with HIV work that he did, and he was so cited with all of his, his
Did I mention I had 3 coronavirus vaccines?
I did. I'm going to get to that, too. But
still here.
He was so cited that he needed a pardon. He needed a presidential pardon for all the things that he did that were so great. Okay? We got to figure that out. One.
Well, he didn't need it. You're not going to say no if someone offers you a pardon, are you, Larry? You probably would. Okay, you would.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because that makes you look guilty. And why would you need one if you're the best doctor in the world? But hold on. You got Dr. Peter Daszak, EcoHealth Alliance. You got Dr. Ralph Barrick with Chapel Hill. You got DARPA. All of these are complicit in this mRNA, messenger ribonucleic acid. It's a blueprint, so to speak.
Hey, she's trying to sell her book.
It's a blueprint, so to speak. And I like this right here where it says a step-by-step guide to the awakening, your highest self. The awakening, see? That's what we had during 2020, was an awakening. So we started to do actual research. I started going to get package insert sheets for the mRNA Moderna and the Pfizer. You know, the Comirnaty and the Spikevax. Spikevax is what's called. But they had this right here. This is all you could get all the way up until the end of 2023. What does that say?
It says intentionally blank.
Intentionally blank. That's how good the product is. And they needed a PrEP Act. They needed a PrEP Act to protect them and protect everybody who gave these out. So they all had immunity.
What's your theory when I say that I had 3 of the shots and I'm still here? I'm interested.
Well, when it comes to killing folks, you know, they already think, these people, I'm just saying, these people, you know, Ted Turner, Bill Gates, the elites of the world, they're on video saying that we have too many people on the planet using too much stuff, destroying the planet, creating CO2 problems, all kind of food insecurities. There's just too many people. Those same people tell you that, hey, there's too many of y'all, but listen, we want to save every one of you, so take our magic juice shot. At the same time, hold on, but the reason is because I say that they're mostly incompetent.
Okay.
It's not Occam's razor with them.
So you feel
they're mostly incompetent.
My shot that I took neither helped nor hurt.
A certain amount of them.
Okay.
A large percentage of them are duds. They're just duds. You can't gather materials for all this. Pig gelatin. I mean, there's SV40 in the Pfizer and the Moderna. There's a Dr. Kernan. He's a molecular biologist. He goes in there. He gets the agents that are in there. SV40 is simian virus 40, which comes from African green monkeys. It's carcinogenic. It's in them. But when you put all of these components in it, including aborted fetal cells called fragmented human DNA or human albumin. So you put it all in there, bring it from around the world to the manufacturing plant, then they get it in their little syringes, in their little vials. Then they got to transport it sub-zero temperatures. That was the whole thing. If y'all look it up, you'll see. So once they transport it from there to all the regional, the regional distribution hubs, then they got to go from there to the doctor's offices, the pharmacists, and into the parking lots at the stadium to make their little, they had people gathered in a stadium. In a stadium.
I got a shot in a parking lot.
In a parking lot. That's
in a tent.
Now think about that.
And that was my second shot.
Think about that.
Sorry, we'll not.
A virus so deadly, a submicroscopic virus, so deadly that you had to get.
Did you lose a lot of friends over this?
How many? I did. Family members too. And I'm like, think about it. Well, to start with, here's the biggest thing. Every other virus on the planet disappeared for 2 years. Dr. Kerry Mullis offered Fauci, who needed a pardon, who needed to plead the fifth, offered him.
The states are telling him, we're going to prosecute you. His lawyers are saying, the states are saying, we're going to prosecute you. Of course he pled the fifth.
The states are all lying. They're all complicit. They're all complicit. Every agency, the CDC.
I need to do a public service.
Hold on. The CDC, the FDA, the NIH, the NIAID, they're all complicit. They're all complicit. Half of them have their family members working in there, and they have their. You wouldn't believe it.
Larry, my advice to you, you're my friend.
Yep.
If the state tells you that they're going to prosecute you, my advice to you is plead the fifth.
Of course.
So I'm not going to fault Dr. Fauci for pleading the fifth.
Oh, I do not fault him at all. That's one of his constitutional rights, of course. I tell everybody, use every constitutional right you have. The first, the second, the third even, the fourth, the fifth. They could have used that back during the pandemic too. The third, they could have came in and said, hey, we need to commandeer your house for a substation for giving out corporate chemical vaccine injections. Oh, here, real quick, because I know we got to go. All right, the indoctrinated brain. This one here could help. This could help your brain. And then this one here, dissolving illusions. This is by Dr. Susan Humphreys, and she has all of the stuff in here. Look at there. You can see those charts there, and it shows. There's the charts. It shows what the measles were in 1900.
You find no place for vaccine.
None, because you can't tell me that corporate chemical vaccine injections. And I do want to read you one thing here, because this is mighty important right here. Just for the ones that you took. You probably took Moderna. I did. I'm sure of it. There you go.
3 times.
Yep. That's terrible. But good news is
writing a will or something.
Good news is you know. But Dr. Anthony Fauci did say when he was talking about creating a AIDS vaccine or HIV vaccine, he said if we give it to hundreds of people and everything's fine. He said, and then you give it to thousands of people and you find out in 10 years all hell breaks loose. Then what have you done? Well, we'll see what happens in the 10 years, but hold on. 13.1, this is the Spikevax by Moderna. Moderna never had a product on the market, ever in its entire existence. This was the first one, the Spikevax mRNA. They already had it planned. It was ready. So anyways, carcinogenesis, mutagenesis, impairment of fertility. Spikevax has not been evaluated for carcinogenic, mutagenic potential, or impairment of male fertility in animals. A developmental toxicity study was conducted in female rats that received a vaccine formula containing nucleoside, modified messenger ribonucleic acid, and other ingredients.
I just got a text from Blab TV. They said, make sure you announce that he doesn't speak for us.
No, I don't speak for nobody. Nobody except for my own personal beliefs. And I do speak for Dr. Susan Humphreys. I know she'll let me. And Dr. Judy Mikovits. Look her up. Oh, I've had her on my show. She's amazing. You got to come to well, you've already been to my COVID office.
I've been to your COVID office.
Oh, well, you think?
Yeah, but seriously, so I know I'm not trying to be redundant with that question. You find no utility for vaccines?
Just because of the ingredients. Listen.
Larry, one more time. I know. Break and we'll be back for our final segment.
All right. I want that final segment.
You got it.
Fostering a pet for a friend or neighbor can keep families together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Laborde, Doctor of Audiology at the Hearing Center at Medical Center Clinic. We've been on Blab TV for longer than I can remember, at least 15 years. It's been one of my favorite things to do. I think because I'm on Blab, people view me as an expert in my field. We've had definite business growth by being on Blab. I would say that we have seen a strong increase in our business incrementally over the years that we've participated. We are the Hearing Center, and we are Blab TV.
We're back for the final segment of Justice for All. If you have a telephone call, if you have a question, either for my friend Larry Downs or author Nicole DeBono, please give us a call or a text. The number is 850-432-7768. Now,
what's that question you had?
I think that I asked you, and I'll give a peremptory comment because I think you deserve it.
Yep.
You and I have been friends since I was 18 years old. I'm 57 years old now. Okay.
Me too, 57.
All right. So I hold you in very high regard, okay? I enjoy hearing you talk about this because I know you spend a whole lot of time on it, right? And I admire your courage because you're taking a position on something that a lot of people disagree with. And you have an entire business. I'm going to go ahead and call your business an empire. You are the finest plumber in Pensacola. You are. And your team is. And so you're standing here and you do it every time you get an opportunity to talk about something that's unpopular, and for that, I do admire you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, so you see no utility at all for vaccines.
And I don't, and the reason is because We've never had more chronic disease we have more chronic disease than ever per capita than ever. Now, you can blame that on a lot of things. You can blame it on carcinogenics and preservatives in food. You can blame it on water. You can blame it on fluoride, hexafluorosilicic acid, although we got that out of the water.
Blame it on a barnacle or get bit by a fish.
You can blame it on a lot of things. But one thing you can't, they can't do, what is taboo, is to say, could it be? Could it be in these corporate chemical vaccine injections? So let me just read you. This is my executive summary that I gave to the Senate and the State House rep. I know, I'm just showing that it's here. So, number 7, corporate chemical vaccine ingredients list known to be present in most of the childhood and adult vaccinations: gelatin from pigskin, chicken embryo protein, blood from hearts of cow fetuses, aluminum from human blood plasma, albumin from human blood plasma, oil extract from shark livers, protein from caterpillar ovaries, monkey kidney DNA fragments, canine kidney cells, polysorbate 80, potassium chloride, aluminum hydroxide, aluminum phosphate, formaldehyde, mercury, inactive, killed viruses, live activated. So what I'm telling you is how can you, if you had a small child and somebody came up to you in a mechanic uniform and said, hey, you know what's going to be really healthy for you, little child? Some pig gelatin.
Okay, I would not take that mechanic's advice. No, I would not.
But if they put on a white doctor coat,
and they had graduated at the top of their class,
and they graduated at the top of their class, spent no time on vaccine education.
Fair point.
They spent 0 time.
Okay.
None. The only thing they did was learn the schedule. 4 MMR2.
And they'd been wooed by some wholesalers from whichever pharmaceutical company. Okay, I understand what you're saying.
And then like the MMR2, which they get four of these. Once at like 6 months, 8 months.
I think your point is best made by the whole Oxycontin sham that took place. Okay, that's similar.
That too. And like 13.1, none of these doctors have read these. I've read them to them. And they're like, I said, you don't know what it says? But just so you know, MMR2 vaccine has not been evaluated for carcinogenic or mutagenic potential or impairment of fertility, period. Now, if you go down Davis Highway, do you think you're going to see a lot of clinics that say in vitro fertilization?
No.
They're there.
Oh, okay. I'll be on the lookout for
in vitro, IVF.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Addie just gave us another sign, so I want to talk about 2 more things very quickly because I think they're public service and
let's do it.
They're related to criminal law.
All right, let's do it. This is criminal, though. This is criminal.
Fair point. Okay. Larry, I'm sure you wear nothing but Abercrombie and Fitch products. Okay, that's a joke. He didn't even know what that was. He thought it was a law firm.
Yeah.
The CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch kind of pulled a Harvey Weinstein on some male models. He was coming on to them inappropriately, okay? Allegedly. And
But was he represented by Alan Dershowitz?
I don't know who's represented. Very good. All right. And this case is pending, and his attorneys have asserted a competence concern. Competence in the criminal standpoint. We normally have Dr. Mark Ruiz come on this program and talk about this. Competence means that you're unable, due to mental incapacity.
Like Joe Biden.
You're making my point. Very good. Good for you. Good for you, Larry. Unable to participate in the process. All right. So this federal court with all these millionaire lawyers evaluated him, and it was undisputed that he has dementia and all kinds of problems that he's going to have for life. And after a 4-hour-long competence hearing, the judge said, I appreciate what I've heard from all these medical doctors, these psychologists and psychiatrists, but, sir, I'm going to find you competent, and do you know why? You do, don't you? Because I told you before the program. He listens to his telephone calls.
And he sounded competent.
Yeah, he sounded competent. Right.
Maybe even a little cunning.
A little cunning, a little sly. Yeah. So my point is, just as we got the text message earlier, probably from Addie, that said, you know, what should I do if you get it if I'm in jail, and what telephone call should I make? And my response every single time is, make it quick and don't stay on it, because every one of your telephone calls is going to get analyzed and double analyzed, and then next thing you know, it's going to get used against you. So there's that. I should mention that, you know, one of my earliest memories is, you know, riding with my mom to school and listening to Dolly Parton sing on the radio. Did y'all see that she passed away today?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. That's sad.
You know, I read the article today, and it was talking about how she got together with her husband. Did you hear what she said?
No.
She said, you know, it was right when I had come to a certain town, and I met this guy, and Dolly Parton, she says, and this guy, who she quickly married, like within 1 year, she says, this guy, unlike any other guys, did what? He looked at my face.
Looked at his face.
Dolly Parton said that none of the other guys looked at her in the face.
Okay.
He's probably a leg man, that's why.
No, man. He saw the value in that. So, you know, I bought tickets for Mom and Dad to see Dolly Parton when she came to town.
Really?
Coat of many colors, yes. All right, Larry, in terms of meetings, is there anything coming up that we should be looking at?
When is it? Is it, I think this coming Thursday is a city council meeting where they're going to be discussing curfews again.
Are you for or against curfews?
I am against curfews, and it's real simple because of this right here. Our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, it says that we have a right to travel unmolested, means on a sidewalk too, and we have a Fifth Amendment right not to answer questions and incriminate ourselves. So are the officers going to be experts at spotting a 24-year-old versus a 16-year-old?
Excellent point.
And what about, you know, and what about you know, disadvantaged kids?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Nicole, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you.
If there's someone out there that's watching that needs some help, you know, getting their life in order, in addition to purchasing your book, and they call me, will you chat with them and kind of get them on the right track, the way you did my friend Sean?
Oh, yes, of course. And they can visit the website also at thebecomingblueprint.org. And
Okay.
I do personal coaching. Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for texting in.
MissionObvious.com.
Be back in 2 weeks with more Justice for All.
Thank you, Jim.